Ever pondered the reason behind the division of the Korean Peninsula? Why two nations, North and South Korea, exist where there was once a single, unified country? The tale of the Korean Peninsula's division is a complex one, steeped in a rich tapestry of history, international politics, and war. The story begins in the late 19th century, during a period known as the Hermit Kingdom. Korea, then a singular entity, had isolated itself from the rest of the world. But as the century turned, the nation found itself embroiled in a tug-of-war between China, Japan, and Russia, each vying for control over the peninsula. In the early 20th century, Japan emerged victorious from the Russo-Japanese War of 1904 to 1905, marking the start of its 35-year rule over Korea. This period, known as the Japanese occupation, was characterized by harsh colonial rule, which included forced labor and cultural suppression. With the end of the Second World War in 1945, Japan's defeat signaled a new chapter for Korea. The victorious Allied forces, principally the United States and the Soviet Union, agreed to temporarily divide the peninsula along the 38th parallel, with the Soviets occupying the north and the Americans taking the south. This division was meant to be temporary, a mere administrative convenience until Korea's future could be decided at the United Nations. However, as the Cold War ramped up, the temporary border hardened. The ideological differences between the capitalist South, backed by the United States, and the communist North, supported by the Soviet Union, drove a wedge between the two halves of the peninsula. Elections were held separately in the North and South, leading to the establishment of two distinct governments, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea in the north and the Republic of Korea in the south. The Korean War, which broke out in 1950, further entrenched this divide. Despite an armistice agreement signed in 1953, no formal peace treaty was ever reached, leaving the two Koreas technically still at war. The Demilitarized Zone, or DMZ, was established as a buffer between the two nations, becoming the most heavily fortified border in the world. In summary, the division of the Korean Peninsula is a result of a complex interplay of historical events and international politics. From the late 19th century tug-of-war between China, Japan, and Russia, to Japan's 35-year rule, the division of the peninsula by Allied forces, and the ideological differences that hardened during the Cold War, each of these factors played a pivotal role in shaping the current landscape of the Korean Peninsula. The Korean War further solidified this divide, creating a situation where, despite an armistice, the two Koreas remained technically at war. So the next time you look at a map of the Korean Peninsula, remember the rich and complex history that lies behind that line dividing North and South. It's a testament to the power of history and geopolitics in shaping the world we live in today.